Hello, I'm Dr. Parsa Mohebi from Parsa Mohebi Hair Restoration, and here today I am with Brandon, and I would love to hear his story, and we are trying to see how we can help him. Brandon, what's going on?
Well, my name is Brandon. I am a content creator and a writer, and I am here because I'm going bald. That is what's happening. But also I make videos and stuff too.
So that's not your main job.
That's not my main job, is not going bald, no. But yeah, no, I've been experiencing hair loss for about 4 years now, I'd say, yeah.
So 4 years ago, you were perfectly having full head of hair, and all of a sudden you started.
Yeah, it started to
thinning out.
Yeah, the hair started to fall out, and I was like, oh, I was wondering, because my dad has a full head of hair. So I thought, I'm chilling. My grandfather, extremely bald.
Right.
And so I was just like, dang, that's my mom's grandfather.
Right.
Or my mom's father. So I was like, I gotta do something about this. But,
so was your grandmother like you at about your age?
Yeah, it was happening around 25, which is when it started to happen.
And how old are you now?
I'm 30.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's been a slow process, but and it's progressing. It hasn't fully gotten to that stage yet, but I'm wanting to get ahead of it before it gets worse.
Absolutely. That's what most people do.
Yeah.
And it's a very genetic condition. We always find somebody in our family or relatives that was just like us at about the same age.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Have you used any medications for your hair loss?
I tried the minoxidil. I tried that, and it just didn't. I don't know. It didn't feel right. It also didn't feel like it was doing much at the time. Right? The topical, yeah. I haven't tried finasteride, but yeah, I tried minoxidil. That wasn't really doing anything.
Do you use any other medications? Any medical conditions at all?
Medical conditions? I have a little arrhythmia in the heart, and
any procedures in the past?
Yeah, I had an ablation surgery, but that was basically just to try and fix the arrhythmia and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's take a look.
All right, let's do it. So, a lot of people, when you see my hair, you wouldn't go, "Oh, he's balding." But here's the thing: it's like Houdini. It's like a magic trick.
Yes, I know you've spent some time this morning.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
I spent a lot of time this morning meticulously crafting everything.
There we go.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like normal guy and then Pennywise.
Right.
So that's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to fix.
So tell me a little bit more about this hair loss and how it has been affecting you.
Well, it's mainly when you go out in public, you have to do everything to account for it. It's like, a lot of people think, oh, you go out and it's fine. But I have asked, I don't even know how many times, hey, if I go to an event, whether it be, I asked once at a wedding if hats were okay at a wedding.
Right.
And they were like, what are you talking about? Of course they're not okay. And I went, oh, dang it.
They said they're not okay? That's cruel.
And it's very surprising.
I know.
But when that happened, you get this rush. I'm like, ah, dang it, okay. And now I have to orchestrate it, make it look not so obvious. And I don't know, it's just those little things with presenting yourself. And I think it just impacts your confidence, obviously. Right. And it impacts I mean, it's kind of a big deal. When you're losing your hair, you kind of lose a sense of your youth and your identity a little bit. And so I wanted to try and mitigate that.
Get back.
Yeah.
Do you have any experience of you being presented with an opportunity that because of hair you felt like, should I or do I? Am I?
Oh yeah, going into the pool. I've been when I'm at a pool party or anything shindig like that, it's I always just go, I'll stay outside, I'll sunbathe, as opposed to because when you do that, then it will show.
So what do you say? You say I don't like swimming?
Yeah, I just go, I don't know how to swim, which is a lie. But I'm I don't know necessarily, I haven't swam for a while, chlorine's bad for my skin, whatever.
Right.
And whatever excuse, that's the other thing, you have to make excuses when you can't really, because that's another thing, a lot of people don't like talking about it. It's hard for people to just be like, hey, it's because of my hair, I'm insecure about it, let's move on.
That's your thing.
Well, it's my thing. Yeah, I know there's a lot of other men that are totally comfortable doing that. but usually it's this like hidden thing. It's like this kind of like, it's almost like an elephant in the room no one can really talk about. And so, yeah.
Well, this is actually, it's interesting that you're open about it. Some people even not open about them to themselves.
Yeah.
So when you ask that, what do you think about your hair loss, or how does it make you feel? They even, have this defense mechanism. Oh, I love being bald.
Yeah.
And then I don't think anybody loves being bald if they have choices.
Sure.
But that's just like so deep that they're trying to like hide whatever you just explained. They don't even want to see that to themselves. It's not even clear to themselves.
Yeah, and I do think some guys are more comfortable with it than others, and obviously I've known guys who are like fully shaved and they look great. It's just like I don't know. I'm not ready for that yet. I'm not ready to like accept that as like, oh, that's how I look now. I always said like if I was like, 60 and that was happening, I'd be like, that's fine. This is what's supposed to happen. Right. I'm 30, so it's like, not necessarily. It feels a little, early for that stuff.
How about other social settings, like dating and stuff like that?
Oh, sure. I mean, hats on dates, and that's another thing too. Is you don't really, you feel like you're like hiding something, like a pretty crucial thing, and it sucks because you almost feel like, well, I need to get to know you before I really show you what's going on here.
Right.
And because I feel sometimes at least like it would impact their opinion, and that's not a great feeling to have. You want to people like first impression, like, that's who you are. You know what I mean? But it's like, oh no, that's this is who I am.
That first impression is that important.
Yeah.
And people just being filtered by some people just because of that first picture, first look.
Definitely. So, and once again, most people, I would say, are very kind and polite and also understanding. It's an internal thing. It's your own demon. It's like your own like, well, I have this voice telling me that that you don't like this. So you have that, and that starts to like take over, and it starts to
That's very true. You cannot believe how many times I have to sit with these young people, like a 18-year-old, 19, 20, that I have to, I'm a hair doctor, right? My job is to give hair to people, but I have to sit with these people and convince them that no, you are not your hair.
Yeah.
You're not your balding. You are your charming, your look, your, brain. So they just, especially younger people, they just see that as who they are. That's the main focus when they have early hair loss.
Yeah.
The whole world is around that thing. So you have to break it down. I have to say, no. We can help you with that, but you have to understand that you are way more than just your hair.
Yeah.
That's how they see it.
Yeah. You don't want it to just be purely like looks, because it isn't. Right. Once again, it's more about just self-confidence.
That's true.
That's the main thing, is my own self-confidence is impacted by this. Right. But I know other people who they're great. I mean, they're what you just said, very charming, very, the personality is great and everything, and they just happen to be bald.
Right.
Doesn't necessarily matter to them. Doesn't matter to me. For my own internal self, it does. It just impacts the way that I view myself a little bit. But yeah, so like, if you're trying to figure out like how much like it impacts confidence, like I'm fiending for that hat right now, so I'm just gonna put it on. It's like a safety blanket.
I see the like connection between the two of you.
It's very strong, very strong.
All right, so let's talk about master planning for your hair loss or hair loss treatment. When we are doing hair restoration, it's not just hair transplant. We're talking about how to prevent your hair from further hair loss, so you don't need multiple hair transplants in the future. So many people choose to use medications. You said you used minoxidil in the past, and there are stronger medications. They're better, more effective medications. For example, we have this group of medication called DHT blockers, like finasteride or dutasteride or herbal DHT blockers, that they can go to the root of the problem and stop hair being attacked by the hormone DHT that is basically destroying hair. The typical one is finasteride, which is a pharmaceutical, and we can give a prescription for that. But it has side effects. Some people have like decreased sex drive and testicular pain and breast enlargement, very remote risk of those, but they could happen. And we also have a herbal version of that, which is, actually we happen to produce it here.
Oh, okay.
It's called Mohebi Light. So this is having two ingredients. One is saw palmetto extract, and the other one is pumpkin seed oil extract. And on top of that, it has all vitamins and minerals that are essential for hair. So basically one capsule and you can have everything that you need to prevent further hair loss, or slow it down at least, right? So we have the option of chemicals or herbals. That the difference is going to be like the chemicals might be strong and effective, but they have side effects. The herbal doesn't have any of those side effects, and we don't have any documentation of those side effects being as common.
Okay.
So let me get some numbers, and then we're going to do a microscopic evaluation that helps me learn more about what we have and what we're doing here. Move forward a little bit, hold it up, sit tall, and look down. There we go. So I'm going to check the hair on the donor area to see what kind of density you have. That helps me know where you're heading from here, and when you are to your advanced class of hair loss, do we have enough hair or not? It's pretty good actually. You have good number of hair, good quality, nice and thick.
Okay, that's good.
So this checks the looseness of the scalp. For certain procedures, we need to know how loose the scalp is. Okay, let me turn you over this way. That's good. All right. Good. So the next thing we're going to do a microscopic evaluation. I'm going to use a microscope to see the thickness of your hair in different areas. When we lose hair in a pattern hair loss, we don't lose a thick hair all of a sudden. Hair goes through a process called miniaturization. So the shaft of hair becomes finer and smaller to the point that we don't see them. If you have more than 20% of those fine hairs at any area, that's a sign of active hair loss. So that tells me that you will probably lose more hair in that area.
Dang.
I know. That's grandfather.
Yeah, genetics.
Gonna get there at some point.
Oh yeah.
All right, so let's do this microscopic evaluation. We're gonna see what's your situation with the donor area and with the recipient. Basically, this shows us how many hair you have available for your lifetime, if you need more hair transplant in the future. And then we want to see in which areas you're probably gonna have more hair loss. So whether or not you need medication or you might need a hair transplant preventatively to minimize the need for future hair transplants. So see how the hair is coming in groups of 2s and 3s?
Yeah.
That's pretty normal. That's called follicular units. And that's how we harvest and transplant them.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So you have a lot of good grouping and good thickness of hair. So now we're going to go to the recipient area, to the balding area, and we compare. So what do you see here?
Less.
Fine hair, right?
Fine
baby
hair,
tiny
baby
hair.
hairs, yeah, less.
So they used to be healthy hair, and now they are going through the process of miniaturization. So at some point you won't see any of them. In fact, many of them you just don't see it without camera.
Yeah.
This digital magnified camera can show it, but naturally you wouldn't see many of those.
Dang.
Okay. And then we're going to go to the top section.
Yeah.
This is the better area, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, okay.
So it looks better, but you still have a mix of like thin and thick hair. It's not as thick as the hair on the back that you can see.
Yeah.
So you may go through the more advanced class of hair loss. You're not like off the hook with just the front.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's all right, you know.
Thought you knew it. With your family pattern.
Yeah.
Okay. So the crown is also, some miniaturization.
Some miniaturization, yeah.
So pretty much that's what it is. So we are gonna probably have you at some point. If you don't take medication, you may go through class 6 hair loss, which is losing everything on top pretty much.
Right.
Yeah, but with medication, you can slow it down, and hopefully with hair transplant, we can bring some of this better quality hair and put them on the top areas.
Yeah, in the front area?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So what's your goal? What are you trying to achieve if proceed with the hair transplant?
I guess just to get that sense of like, I don't know, a sense of self back. Because like when I was younger, I had such a massive head of hair. Like it was very thick. Like here, it was just like all here.
Yes.
And I guess just getting that back and just feeling a little bit more confident when you like, you know, go outside, especially without one of these on.
Sounds good, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the introduction to hair loss and hair loss treatment. I'm glad you shared your story, and I'm glad we are able to provide some information about how hair loss treatment works. If you have the same situation, you're not alone, and you have plenty of help and plenty of resources to get you back to where you were supposed to be.